And may the 4th be with you. May the police 4th be with you if you happen to be the district attorney. He's Bob Manzi joining us this morning. Conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Mr. D.A., good morning.
Good morning, Todd. How are you today?
Wonderful, and it's good to have you with us here today. If we can't get you in the studio, it's better to get you on the phone if you can't make it in. So it's good that you're with us here this morning on this rainy day. And well, let's talk a little bit about law enforcement and what you do here in Indiana County. I know you have a big event coming up a week from today, don't you?
We do. Next Wednesday, May 11th, we're going to be holding Senior Summit 2022. This event is a collaborative effort with our partners at Aging Service, the Pennsylvania State Police, and local banks. We're going to be providing 2 sessions. One will start at 9 a.m., go till about 11:30. The second will start at 1 p.m. and go till about 3:30. It is a completely free event, and we're going to be providing information to our senior population with regards to current scams, how to protect yourself from those scams, issues that we're seeing with Aging Services and the services they provide to our community for food security and transportation. We have fraud bingo being played, and then we have our members of law enforcement coming in and speak, and then we have local attorneys talking about legal documents that people can use to help protect themselves from various forms of fraud and financial abuse.
It is such an ongoing issue, and it's a mounting issue because it seems that it's an onslaught of them, really, of scams and other ways that people are trying to get in vulnerable citizens' wallets. I saw a report that said that it's not necessarily an age thing. Anybody can fall victim to scams, but that folks who are vulnerable most are those who are a bit up in years and maybe not as sharp as they once were, and people frequently in need of help.
Yes, and unfortunately, it's a lot of times those individuals are living alone. Unfortunately, one of the newer scams that we're seeing is the thieves are targeting widows and widowers, so they get information from an obituary, find out who may now be living on their own, living alone for the first time in many years. And then they target them to try to collect old debts that just don't exist.
Wow. They're always going to be out there, and so the ability to protect them is really important, and that's what this is all about. Now, at Rustic Lodge, you said, correct?
It's at Rustic Lodge, and we with COVID, we weren't sure when we were beginning organizing this where we'd be at with COVID. So we have 2 sessions to try to keep the room a little more wide open. You can make a reservation by calling my office directly, and they'll take your information and have you set. You can show up that day. We're looking at, it's a free event for anybody in the county.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So that is going to be a very, very important thing next Wednesday, and they should contact your office?
They can contact my office directly. It's at 724-465-3835. And one of my staff members will help get you registered. They just need to know your name and how many people are coming, so we're able to keep people at a distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's one thing. There's something else very, very exciting to me, at least, as somebody who watches the court cases, tracks them down through the court docket system and the various ways of finding out case information. You have been very, very open about making sure that information is available, as was your predecessor in office, and we appreciate that kind of more than just cooperation, but that kind of outreach. But now you're taking it a step further, and so are your colleagues across the state. Something brand new, and I'm looking at it right now online, Crimewatchpa.com. Tell me about that.
So Crimewatchpa is a program which is going to allow us to have our own individual page from Indiana County. So it's on the internet. Anybody can look on it. And what we're hoping to do is provide more and more information with regards to ongoing investigations if we're looking for information, case updates as cases work their way through the court system, as well as case results. Many times we want to be able to provide that information to members of our community. They see a headline one day and then they ask, well, hey, what's going on with the case? We haven't heard much for months. So what we want to do is be able to utilize this website. It's being used by several counties across the state in order to provide more updates as to what's happening, information with regards to wanted individuals, as well as the programs offered throughout our criminal justice system.
Now, I'm looking at the Indiana County page, which directly links to your office, and it's set up in sections, so you can, for instance, go to the crime section, look at arrests, cases, the incident blotter, the most wanted, the warrants, all of those important information choices. But under the resources program, you've got such titles as the Bad Check Program, community-based programs, prescription drug take-back. We just had that over the weekend. Megan's Law, victim services, all of those. And those are just extremely important to have that information right there at your fingertips for everybody to be well informed. And it would be, I assume, very helpful to you for folks who might have a tip or two to pass along.
Absolutely. We have our hotline that people regularly call in with information around the county that helps our law enforcement in their investigations. This website is just going to be one more avenue added to that ability for the community to provide us information as to what they're seeing so that our law enforcement can be more directed in those efforts. Yeah,
absolutely. There's an interesting section of the website as well called the Camera Registry. What's that about?
So the Camera Registry is a program that is used through Crimewatch in which individuals or businesses can register their camera with us. That information is kept private. Who is registered and where the cameras are is solely kept in our office. What we use that for is when there is a crime in which we need to quickly learn where there may be cameras in the area, law enforcement can immediately call us and say, hey, we had a situation at here's the address. We can get on that list and say, here's all the cameras in that area that are registered. Mm-hmm. Many times being able to get to that footage quickly helps law enforcement not only solve the crimes faster, but gather information that's going to help us prosecute it and locate the defendant so that we can arrest that person and get them off the streets quicker.
Yeah, I would guess that is such a great advantage to law enforcement to know where all that is available. And of course, it's a voluntary program.
It's completely voluntary. We're going to be rolling it out and asking the community, if you're willing, give that information there. And a lot of it is video camera systems that do not save footage for a long time. So if you have a Ring camera on your house, it may not be set up in a manner in which that footage is kept for a long period of time. By knowing where they are and us being able to get to them quickly, we may be able to get to footage that, otherwise we may simply lose.
Yeah. It's called crimewatchpa.com, and it can be searchable by county. You can find the Indiana County page, and, of course, you can also check in on other counties as well. For instance, if somebody is accused of a crime here and we find that they have a criminal record somewhere else or an arrest warrant somewhere else, we can get information on that from that county's site as well. So then that seems like a really, really important thing to do. It takes a lot of work to put something like that together, though, doesn't it? And continual maintenance.
It's going to be a lot of work, and it's important work. People in our community deserve to know what we're doing in law enforcement and what we're doing to help keep the community safe and what's going on with cases. So that's going to be an important tool to provide that information in one source for them so they don't have to toggle around to 7 different websites to find out what's happening with a case.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, we're talking with Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi. We should explain why it is that you're not here in person. It's because there's always new information to be gathered, and sometimes that information is best gathered as a group involved in the same pursuit, district attorneys, law enforcement as well. And you're actually right now doing just that. You're working on a homicide type of seminar. Is that what's going on?
We're at the Pennsylvania District Attorneys Association, which is an association of all the district attorneys in the state. We're at a training here in State College with regards to homicide investigations, prosecutions, trial presentations. We have attorneys that have been doing this work for 30 and 40 years, providing trainings, updates on digital evidence and how we can acquire new information. So, we're keeping our skills sharp. We always want to keep up to date on the best technology out there and the best information so that when we unfortunately have some of the cases like that in our county, we're in the best position to gain a conviction.
I bet the roundtable discussions and you do the breakout sessions and things of that nature, I bet you those are fascinating. You probably find out things or techniques or maybe tips that you can use as a DA here from somebody else, and the reverse could be true as well.
Oh, absolutely. In our county, we're fortunate in that we're dealing with a very low number of homicide cases, and in sitting with members of offices where they're dealing with 100 homicides a year, you learn a lot of tips that are able to help with what we're doing. And we're able to share what it is we do in our office. With there being 67 different district attorneys' office, the best way to gain that information is to be talking with everyone else in that professional community and gaining all of the knowledge that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems like all those folks getting together, batting around this topic or that is just going to be beneficial to law enforcement overall. Okay, Mr. DA, we've got the program coming next Wednesday at the Rustic Lodge, the senior seminar. Anything else folks need to know about from your angle?
Just from my angle, one of my concerns coming up. I know it's raining today, but we're getting close to that spring and summertime. A lot of times we see people going out and meeting their friends and maybe having a beer around the campfire. I just want to, again, encourage people, as we get into the season, don't be drinking and driving. If you've had something to drink, find a driver, find a safe way home. I want everyone in our community to get home safe so that we can enjoy the summer coming up in front of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Good one on that one. Hey, I did want to ask you this one question because this came up earlier this week. In Westmoreland County, evidently, teachers have been getting calls while on the job from somebody claiming to be with their county and threatening them with a fine because they failed to show up for jury duty. Has any of that shown up in Indiana County? It's obviously a scam.
Yeah, that has not shown up here in Indiana County. We're certainly going to keep our eye out on it because, anytime there's a scam going on in one county, it doesn't mean it's just going to stop at the border. So, we are going to keep our eye on that, but that is not happening in Indiana County as far as I'm aware.
Good to know. Good to know. Mr. DA, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
There's Bob Manzi, the Indiana County District Attorney. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 to AM 1160 to AM